ready.
Let's do this!
Time to farm some dubs. Crap, I got a squad on my right.
I'm running in for backup.
Yo, Ron, he's right there in front of you.
Oh, sorry guys, it happened again.
Damn. This is the 10th one today.
Alright, I'm back.
Someone cover me.
Yeah, I see you. You got him, you got him, you got him! Yes! Yo, that's sweet.
Yeah, it is. We about to win this.
Guys, I can get used to this.
HyperX alloy. Built strong because it has to be.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another round of online racing league in the F2 split. We are here at Bahrain short. We're going for a 100% race, 57 laps of this a bit shorter circuit of the Bahrain International Circuit. It's officially named the Paddock Circuit, and yeah, we've got 10 corners coming up, just missing some parts of the first and second sector of the normal race, and we're here on the way in qualifying. Yeah, to take a look at the track. We've seen it already on Thursday in a social race, and we saw some interesting strategies. Nearly everything is possible. You can try 2 stops or 1 stops, which will be pretty risky but possible. And right after the first 2 or 3 turns, we see this little weird thing. Turn number 4, where the track changes a bit from the normal circuit, where you just go from the second straight, which is actually pretty short now, to instantly to the normal third straight. Now it's the second straight, and the second DRS zone of the track. And then we go into the fast S's, and well, then it's just another straight, and we're basically back onto the start and finish straight. And yeah, so it's a lot of straights today. It's pretty much less corners, more straights, but hopefully it's going to be also more overtaking possibilities because of those long straights. You know, basically into turn 1 after the long DRS section, we got a big overtaking zone, and into turn number 6, the other DRS section with overtaking zone. Also pretty interesting to see those long corners, 6 and 7, maybe also 8, where the guys on the better tire will be in a big advantage. So maybe some overtakes happening due to different tire choices. And yeah, that's it for the track so far. Maybe we're going to take a real lap later on board with somebody, but let's see what the first times are. If we're looking at the final times, we're searching for something in the 57s, something around a 57.5 should be pretty good, and should be in the end something about the pole time. And as we can see, first times a bit off, but that's absolutely normal. First 57 time from Sergi Caseda. I think it's a newcomer to the league. At least I don't remember the line from some last races. Of course, we've got COS Nicholas there, currently in provisional poles, just 7 thousandths ahead, and Joshua Kozani currently in P3. Yeah, unfortunately, Jan Akinci is not taking part today, so that could be a big chance for Nicholas to decrease the gap between himself and Jan in the championship standings. He's currently 28 points behind. Maybe we can show that also on stream.
Alright, I'm ready.
Let's do this!
Oh no,
Time
wait a
to
second.
farm some dubs. Crap.
That was wrong. There we go. I should have done this that way around. So here are the championship standings for the current after the Brazilian GP. We've got Akinci in first, of course, Nicholas in second, and Gelbwand in third. We've got Nicholas and Gelbwand racing today. Dmetkov stepped up into fourth, then Dyslexic in fifth, and Krusix in sixth, Alberola in seventh, Jari in eighth, Shevertalov in ninth, and Polyakov in 10th. So, still looking forward to see a lot of points being gained. And for example, if Nicholas can get a win, we'll get 25 points closer. 26 will be even more better with the fastest lap. He will be 25 points closer to Jan, which would be actually up to, I think, let me do some quick math, 89 points, so just 3 points away. Of course, with the fastest lap, just 2 points away from Jan. So next race will be really interesting, at least if Nicholas finishes this high this race, if they can really have a battle for the championship lead. But getting back onto the track now, as we can see here, we've got no further. Oh yes, we've got some more 57 times from Krusix to 57.9 and 57.9 from Chris to Mercedes. Pretty much at the top spots today, not a 1-2 but a 3-4 already. Pretty good standings for them. And they've got a lot of people in the pits right now, some out laps, but not really much people who are really onto a hot lap. But you can see you can use the tyres a bit longer than usual, because this is basically the normal Bahrain wear, but on a shorter circuit. So yeah, you can just drag the tires a bit longer for 2 laps, and the softs won't fall off that quick. Well, because it's just like 2/3 of the original track length. And yeah, maybe we can sit on board. No, Nicholas has already begun his hot lap. There's Joshua. Most of the guys are, well, Connor just making his hot lap. Dave, Jari, maybe we'll take a look with Jari. Just makes his way onto the second straight. We can also see it's pretty tight on a shorter track with 20 cars. I mean, those 20 cars are just compressed in less than a minute of a lap, and yeah, that's going to be even more interesting racing. And well, we've got a full grid, and that's always nice to have. And yeah, therefore, hopefully we're going to see some interesting overtakes like later on in the race. Now because Jari for a hot lap, we're going to sit on board with him around the last 2 bends. Well, second braking is counted as a corner actually. Now we are over the start finish line, of course, into the nighttime qualifying, as well as later on the nighttime race. There's a lockup in turn number 1. Very careful on the accelerator there out of turn number 2, and then around turn number 4, the little weird bend you're not used to, but it has to work out too. And Jari just aborted his lap. Probably wasn't the one for him. But let's see. Probably lets by some people and then rejoins and goes instantly for another try. Because, well, you have that much fuel on board, you can, the minimum you have to take is 5 liters or kilogram. I'm actually not sure. And well, as you can take all of them, as you have to take this amount of fuel, you have more laps. You can do more laps with on one try than usual. For example, in Spa, you can be. Oh, we see a crash there. The pit. Oh, who was that? Gelbwand smashed the car into the pit wall there. So now into the first turn and not locking up this time, down into second gear. Careful on the exit of the turn 2 and 3, and then we go immediately into 4, short braking zone, short acceleration zone, then onto the second DRS straight down here, and of course aiming for the right side of the track into the next turn. Quick left hander in 4th gear, and then full throttle through the next right-hander. Don't touch the inside curve, that's gonna spin you out into another right-hander in 4th and then we go on to the actually third straight, and immediately after one right turn and a little right kink onto the main straight again with the DRS wide open. Let's see what time you can put in. It's a 57.998, so just a 57, and we've seen Joshua Kozeny has a time just 0.2 quicker, 0.002 quicker than him. So it's going to be pretty close racing, but as I said on Thursday, it's pretty hard to make really mistakes on this track because there are just that many straights. Basically on the straight you can just miss your shifting point where you need to shift gears, but that's it. You can't really miss a braking point or something, which is really, or miss the line, because in a straight it's just a straight line you have to drive. That's not that hard for these professional drivers. Some people will have their problems with it, but that's not what is the issue. And with just 10 corners, it's really, yeah, you just have to nail 10 corners, and then you have a good lap, and then it's just about perfecting these 10 corners, and that's the big problem why not everyone is of course at the absolute maximum. But we're just at about half the qualifying, and therefore we will have more laps to come in, and I'm sure there will be some even quicker laps. I've got currently now Sergi Quesada, hope I pronounced this about right, on provisional pole position. Chris is also out and out on a hot lap. Let's see, maybe we can catch him. He just got across the line and started his lap. So let's see what he can put in. Onto, of course, all of them going onto the soft compound of tires. Probably trying either 2 sub or 1 stub. First of all, depending on how the race goes with safety cars and stuff, and on how the individual performance is, of course. If you're feeling happy with the softs or with mediums or hards, and it's going to be Chris coming across the line. It's a 57.8, and now making it a Mercedes 1-2 instead of a 3-4. Pretty much what we're used to see, even in real life F1. Of course, Nicholas out there for another try onto his own lap time too. Currently 1/10 off, so not the best start in Sector 1 you can have. Let's see what his Sector 2 time will be. And there we go, round the bend, and immediately afterwards, after the DRS activation, no, that's not DRS activation, but we've got the sector time here. 1.5 seconds off, so he's now not even pushing anymore, but he's surely going for a second try. There we go. ERS up, and fuel should be still good. I mean, it's actually even better now after another lap that you have even less fuel in the tank. Going down first turn, a bit of a lock up on the rear. There we go. Through turn 2 and 3 and 4, of course. Somebody leaving the session. And we go onto the second DRS straight. Open up the wing, there we go. And then going as far to the right as possible, but not, of course, cutting over the line. That would invalidate your lap. And Iker Bina and Joshua Kozeny, oh man, names, pushing themselves over Nicholas in the standings at the moment. On the last bends, Nicholas goes, and what time is it going to be? Into the pits immediately. Not really happy with his performance at the moment, but he has another try left. This circuit is really short, so therefore with just 3 minutes remaining, you can even drive up with just 2 minutes or even 1.5 minutes remaining, because that circuit is that short. And well, if we look at the back of the grid, we've got a 59 time even with the mediums. Not really sure if Oskaya wants to stay there or if he wants to improve on that time and just go with the softs, because he would be able to go on the softs either way, and onto the mediums either way if he finishes in 11th or something. And yeah, that should be possible to gain some places, but still be in 11th or lower place to change the tires. And of course, Polyakov, who hasn't set a time lap yet. Jari putting himself between the two Mercedes there at the top. And from the other guys, we've got mostly the people in the pits, and I'm sure they're going to drive out again. And I think for another try is Leonard now does. Currently out on a lap, I think. Was a bit up on his time. Maybe can push it into 10th. There we go. 0.15 seconds off his time. Up into 6th. Now 6th and 7th, both Alfa Romeos. Just with 4 thousandths of a second difference. And we've got a lot of those for 57.8 times. Just the two top spots are in the 57.7s. And well, let's see. I mean, Quesada is out on another lap. Nicholas is out on another lap as well. Of course, he's not happy with that. He's not happy with staying in 7th. He is actually still fighting for the championship. He has a real good chance to catch John, especially because he isn't there today. And with just 1 minute and 30 seconds remaining, we may. Oh, and Chris just sets the fastest lap of the session, a 57.6. So going even quicker than his teammate by half a tenth. Let's see what example likes of Nicholas can set against that. A bit of a lock up there into turn number 1. I don't know how much time that cost him. Now going very wide for turn 4 course, a little bit of a slide, or maybe that was a game bug, but it looked like a slide. Yeah, he's already 4 tenths off. That is not going to be a good time. That is definitely an aborted lap, as we can see by the ERS. But he's of course going round again. And I mean, we've got a lot of people out on track at the moment, so they have to get this sorted out. There are just 30 seconds left, and everyone still tries to get across the finish line. I think so. And well, here we go. Well, a bunch of people. Hopefully they don't catch up to each other. Oh, and Black Panther retired, probably in pit lane. And there goes Nicholas for another attempt into turn number 1. That's his last one. That's gonna be it. After this try, there's none left. And there are the first finishes coming in. The McLaren of Joshua. No, I think he's got, in theory, he's got another lap from the game. I don't know why, even though the... And Williams crossed the line as well, but the game doesn't say he is finished. I'm not sure if he actually is, whatever's happening, but that seems to be kind of a thing. I think I saw that last time around too. But nonetheless, we see Nicholas here bombing down the last straight, coming out of the last turn, opening the DRS wing. Immediately behind him, we've got a Mercedes, which is probably exactly setting the fastest lap. Nicholas not improving on his time. Sergi Caseda, probably our pole sitter. Provisional pole sitter for now. We've still got the likes of Jari. No, he aborted the lap as well. And yeah, then maybe Joshua Kozany? No, not being able to get further up into the standings. Well, then that's it. Jari won't get a better time. Zvekov still out there, pulling 74 thousandths off his own time. Let's see what he can do. Puts himself up into 6th, past Crow 6 there. And well, that's the result to work with for him. Working himself up the standings a bit further. At the moment in 4th. He had a big jump from last week. But now, of course, he's trying to attack then the top spots later on. So let's see how that works. And let's see how the other ones will perform. Of course, after qualifying, we're heading into the race. 100% race distance here on the short circuit. Will be pretty long, about an hour of racing, because we've got 57 laps coming up. And yeah, well, we've got to take about a minute for the lap times in a race circumstance. But here we go, Sergio Quezada starting from pole position with a 57.6. Chris in the Mercedes starting from second. Mercedes 1-2, first row. We've got the second row McLarens, Jari and Joshua Kozany. We've got Haas in the 5th, Icarbina. We've got Zvekov in 6th, Krusix in 7th. 8th and 9th are the two Alfa Romeos of Leonard and Nicholas. We've got 1 second, or Turabukin is I think his name, in Renault in the Renaults together with Flash. And then we've got Connor and Black Panther in the Racing Point, Dylan and Dyslexic in the Ferrari, and then the two Williams. Not sure who gets the other spots. Well, we'll see just in a minute after the formation lap. So here we are at the start of the formation lap, and yeah, the driver's dreading up, of course. We are here for the Bahrain GP on the short circuit, of course, and yeah. And well, we're just waiting them to complete the formation lap, of course, and then we're ready to racing. The thing is, of course, formation lap will be really short, so you have to warm your tires up quickly, and then after just about a minute of driving on those tires, we also can take a quick look at the tires. So we've got softs on basically top 10, of course, from the qualifying. Then we've got mediums in the lower 10, and one hard starter, that will be Dylan. Maybe a bit of a strategy together with a teammate, because they can't pit on the same lap, of course, if they're both on mediums. But here they go. The AI is lining up the cars for the start of the Grand Prix. We have 57 laps to go, about an hour of racing, and I hope we'll see much action as we've seen on Thursday already with the social race, and I think we won't be disappointed from this race in the end. Yeah, just let them line up, or let the bug at the beginning of every race happen. We see the lights going off even though they aren't. But here we go, Playakov is lined up. We're going to take a look at the top 4 lights, 5 lights. And it's the lights out and away we go, at least in theory. There we go. Now we're having a good start at the front here. I can't see a thing. There we go. To Mercedes going away well, to McLaren as well. The Alfa Romeo of Leonard had a very good start, at least that looked like it. And to McLaren, Haas already attacking now, nearly spinning out there. Be cautious on the exit there, but the Haas and Icarbina already made a position up. At the back there's still trouble on who gets to go where. We've got Dyslexic who catch up 2 places. We've got Ozkaya very far at the back. And now this race is probably mostly going to be a DRS train. That's what I'm expecting it to be. We can see probably the strategy is soft to medium for most of the guys at the front. We'll be seeing some different strategies for those guys, medium to soft probably. And yeah, that's probably going to be it, what we will be seeing today. And yeah, for the first few laps, we've got quite a few places gained by Gab 1, who qualified very far down the grid. Still in the battle here into turn 1 against the Ferrari of Dylan, who is on hard tyres, I believe. Yes, he is. Exactly, so Gab 1 should be able to do that overtake. In front now, he got Black Panther with him. We've seen some racing up there. The 2 McLarens of Flash and 1 second. Or Tarabukin. Oh, and there's a front wing end plate in the tyre of Flash, and 1 second lost it. Ooh, spins it round there into the first of the fast corners. Turn number 5, I believe. No, 6, I believe. And yeah, that's of course good for all the rest of them, but not for Renault generally. And that was a in-turn battle, so that shouldn't have happened, but it did, unfortunately. So let's see, we've got Icarbina going for a move on to Joshua Consony down the inside of the first turn, and well, he goes past. There we go. Maybe we're seeing a switchback. That's what we've seen a lot in last social race. Guys immediately got the DRS on the second straight and were able to gain their position back by reclaiming it through DRS and slipstream on the other straight. But of course you have to stay really close to your opponent in front to make that work. And in case of Joshua, it didn't work out. But any other front position changes, we can go back to the tyres and look through them so we can see where the difference actually is. And we've now only got 9 people with softs out there. Oh, 1 second had softs on. I think he stopped. He had to be. Has to have. I don't know. Should have had softs on. And there we go. Maybe team internal overtake again. No, not internal. This time they're going around crew 6. Maybe both. Let's see whether that will happen. Nicholas trying it around the outside. Doesn't really work out, but now he's got the DRS if you've got the right exit out of turn number 4. But of course, Crew 6 also got DRS. Oh, massive weaving going on there. Not sure what that was for. But so far, that kept Nicholas behind, even though that wasn't really a nice move. A massive weaving, and there are big lockup. Maybe with the slipstream, Nicholas can now do something because of that lockup. He may have lost some time. Crew 6. No, not yet. Maybe out of the last turn. So just concentrate on the exit, get the power down very nice, and then you're already quicker, even though you don't even have DRS enabled. But there he goes. Overtake enabled, DRS enabled. Got the outside even. Can be a help. Doesn't have to be, especially because the second. Ooh, nearly spinned it around there. Giving it a go on the outside turn and the outside view, and there we go. Crew 6 runs wide into turn 4, and left for Nicholas got the place back. Fighting for the first positions, and there we go. We're 10% in. No, not yet. Not yet 10% in. 10% were after this next lap. That's just lap 5 of 57. So let's see where the guys will come out. Got some fight happening there at the back. Boyakov and Dylan giving it a go. Dylan, of course, on the hard tyres, play a couple of pass. But Adam Ruiz wants to go past Sue. And that's, of course, pretty bad for Dylan, but that was probably expected. I mean, he was starting on the hard tyres, the worst tyres in the whole field. And he just to go lap after lap after lap. Oh, and oh, he even goes for an overtake there. Pretty much a dive bomb, especially turning that quick into Polyakov. Was not really a nice move. But somehow worked out, even though he knows he's going to be overtaken just in the next corner. We've got a crash. No. What happened to Chris? Why does he stop down that far? Why did he lose like 3 positions? I'm not sure. That's going to be a mystery, but Jari going for it for the lead of the race against Sergi. Oh no, Sergi is going into the pits. 5 laps already. Probably then trying a 2-sub, because you wouldn't go that early. Ooh, oh no. Maybe they had a collision. Yes! The 2 Mercedes had a collision. The 2 Mercedes collided. Sergi's front wing damage. Our pole sitter now in P19. Chris just in P4. Probably in another internal battle. And Jari is taking the lead of the race. And, well, that mixed up the grid a lot. And that was an early start with damaging other cars. And hopefully that won't happen again for that race. I mean, especially if you're fighting internally in the team, you really don't want that to happen. But Sergi goes onto the hard tyres, probably tries to race until the end and not go for another stop. That's of course going to make him slow, but though he will be able to. There goes Nicholas down the inside past his teammate Leonard. No, Krusik takes a look there, maybe get his position back. He was overtaken by both of them before, so now maybe a possibility for him to get his position back. Not yet, I think. I mean, Nicholas is pretty far ahead. Oh, and Poyak retired into the pit lane there. Not sure what happened there. Maybe he's not confident with how the race went for him, even if we're just 8 laps in. And that's not really a point where you should decide when. Well, that's not really a point where you know that your race went bad, because everything's still possible with safety cars and stuff. You can still get even in top 5. And well, Krusik, Leonard and Nicholas are pretty close. Of course, the top 5 separated themselves a bit, and a massive lockup of Nicholas on the curbs of the first turn was really the optimal for him, because then Leonard and Krusik got a lot closer and have now maybe the opportunity, but now Krusik has mostly the opportunity onto Leonard. Was Leonard who locked up? That's possible, but not really. He gets it not pass around turn 6 and has to wait for another go, for another moment where he can go alongside. And then it locks up again. It's really a lock-up festival here. We see Adam Rees and St. Dylan giving it a go there. Oh, and Adam Rees spun out into turn number 6 as well, as we've seen it before with I think no. Who was it who actually spun out? 1 second? I'm not even sure anymore. And Krusik goes past Leonard there onto the main straight. As I said, as soon as he gets a go, he takes the chance, of course, and Leonard nearly tries a dive bomb there, but decides against it. Would be pretty harsh and late to go in there. Oskaya making the move onto Dave. And I had no chance on sticking with Krusik and Nicholas. But though also Nicholas doesn't really have a chance on sticking with the top 10. He seems to be dropping back. He was 1.6 seconds away about a lap ago. now it's dropped down to over 2 seconds. So it's not going too well for him. Well, let's see whether that changes. Well, that will change in the race later on. First pit stops will be around lap 20 to 22. At least if you're going for the soft medium strategy. Of course, the other way around, the medium stoppers will go at around lap 37, 35 to 37. From what we can expect. Flash going past Geb1, going past Connor. So pretty close together, so that's nothing decided yet. Geb1 pretty close to Flash there, trying to maybe take a look around the quick section here, but it isn't possible yet. There is no space, no room left for him to get his nose into and make the overtake in the end. So let's see whether he has a possibility later on here on. Oh, and really big lockup, and Connor gets really much closer there. Maybe Connor has now the chance on to Gelb1 to get his position back. His Flash seems now pretty far away from Gelb1. The most dangerous thing are the guys behind at the moment, but nothing really happening so far. Crucix getting now really close to Nicholas and no. Yes. Nicholas in the Alfa Romeo now again lost a bit of time. Top 3 still pretty close. Not fighting though. Maybe they all know that they have to spare a bit of energy for later fights. They don't want to ruin everything already in the first laps of the race, of course. So just get some good laps in and stay maybe just a second, for example, for Joshua and Eike to gain some ERS by staying in the DRS and prepare for an overtake later on. As we can see, Crucix is now again a bit closer to Nicholas. There we go. Down turn number 1, Flash goes past Gelb1, and there comes Connor. Goes past Gelb1 as well, and maybe not even past Flash if he gets it done around the inside of turn number 6. Oh, nope, not yet. He's on board with the wrong guy, of course, and yeah, they have to sit it out for another time. I mean, Connor is now in a pretty uncomfortable position. Gelb1 now chasing him down, of course, wanting to regain that one position he just lost. And at the front he got Flash, who's pulling away a bit, but Gelb1 is now really close. He probably has the possibility to pull the overtake. There he goes alongside, way faster, and there goes Flash, I think, past Sync Dyslexic, and as well Crucix and Nicholas are fighting. Here we go, Flash, Dyslexic. Now we've got a mix-up between Gelb1 and Connor into turn number 1, but Gelb1 makes it out on top. And so Gelb1 now retakes the position in front of the 2 racing points. Leonard steps further ahead of past Dyslexic, and that's it for now. I mean, they're still pretty close together. We still got this little train going on, I have to say. Joshua Cousin is pretty close to Eike at the front there. Might be able to pull something off the hair if he enables ERS now as well, but it doesn't really look like it from the time. I mean, they're all getting pretty close, but nothing too close. Nicholas getting close again to Crucix, but not too dangerous so far. I mean, of course, they're still fighting for positions, as well as these 5 people. I mean, everybody from Flash on is pretty close to each other. Renault and a Ferrari, Haas, and 2 racing points. They're going for a battle for, in the end, 9th place, currently led by Flash. not flesh. But in the end, kind of, they are led by flesh. Hopefully there's a human driver behind the steering wheel, not an AI. That would make things interesting. And so you take a look up the order there. How the top spots are doing, and over at the back. That's the top spots. Jari, Iker, Joshua, all pretty close. Now the overtake from Dyslexic back onto Flash. Gaffer 1 battling with Flash again, so Flash nearly lost 2 positions there. And does he? Let's take a look. No, still side by side. Gaffer 1 will get the DRS possibly. Does he? Yes, I think so. But no opportunity. Oh, and they're a bit touching with the Connor, the racing point. Going into turn number 6, they go side by side, and Connor takes the better line and gains the position. I think Black Panther fell a bit back, and that's for now. They're going to stay. Now, again, Dyslexic and Flash swap places. Connor's again in front of Geld 1, but as you can see here, those guys are pretty close together, and well, Geld 1 had a bit of a bad exit out of the last turn there, but Connor and Flash might be able to do something. Connor goes down the inside, late decision there, and going alongside with Flash, pushing Flash a bit to the outside of the track, as well does Flash with Connor. It's pretty hard racing here. Both were sliding a bit. Connor probably getting DRS. Yes, there we go. So Flash needs to use a lot of ERS now to get alongside. Now he also has DRS, of course, onto Dyslexic there. Oh, and Connor for a massive spin and hitting the other one there as well. Both of them getting hit. I think no front wing damage for Connor, but that ruined Geld 1's race. That ruined his race. Front wing damage now, and not less. Pretty much damage there. And we can take a better look at Nicholas and Crucix going for it into turn number 1. Crucix, Nicholas round the outside there, past Crucix again, keeping it in front. Dave now going past Connor in lap number 18. That was a pretty big incident there, with Connor and Geld 1 beating it into the wall in turn number 6. Not really what you want to see, but that happens. Those are just race incidents. I mean, Connor it's not really his fault. He just spun. So that's what happens when you're racing. And 1 second retired. Now the one who goes into the pits wasn't really his race, I think. He had, I think, damage early on, so yeah, probably wasn't what he was looking for. But here we can see Connor chasing Dave now. He just got past, but now with DRS, well, Connor's able to overtake exactly and take back the position. We see 1 second getting out of the pits there, but he is an AI, of course, because he retired from the race. There goes Connor in front of Dave, and he got kind of back into a rhythm. Geld 1 is now dead last with the hard set of tires. And we are getting into the interesting phase of the race, of course, because it is about time. Oh, Geld 1 retired because that was... Oh, did he crash into the wall? Did he actually crash into the wall? Let's take a look, because we've seen that. Yes, he probably did, and made it a spin, but no safety car, no virtual safety car, at least so far. And not really getting a lot of attention. There we go, Flash again past Dyslexic here, making the best out of the situation and changing positions once again for lap number 20. But Flash and Dyslexic are both on the same strategy. Interesting will be further up because those guys are now having their pit window open to get into their pits and get a fresh set of tires. Of course, it'll be the intermediates. Of course, it will be the mediums. And Joshua Cosney just pulls an overtake onto Ikerbina there. And they're not done yet. They're not done yet. Iker still stays in front, gets it back somehow. Manages to stay in front. Leonard, the first one to enter the pit lane, probably trying an undercut there, going onto the fresher tire a bit earlier, because the fresh mediums is now a bit quicker than the fresh soft, of course. Not fresh. The fresh medium is quicker than the old soft. At least it should be, and that's what Leonard is going to find out very soon. As soon as he got into the car, as soon as he got their tires managed again, and then he'll close up to Sergi Quesada, who was a repulsor, but unfortunately had an incident early on with his team colleague Chris, who still stays in fourth. Well, there goes the Haas of Ikerbina again for a look onto Jari there for the lead of the race. Those guys still not pitting. Probably pushing the pit window as far back as possible. I can see another overtake from Flash onto Dyslexic. Oh, and Oskaya retired from the race into the pit lane as well, as already many others did. And Leonard is now past Sergi Quesada on the main straight. Oskaya left the session. His car will probably go out on track again, of course, as it always does unnecessarily. No, it doesn't, actually. So, bit of good news there. We've got no car useless standing around. But we've got 7 drivers now at the top spots who still need to pit. There we go. 2 of them decide to go for it now. Jari and Zvetkov on lap number 22. The others are still pit window open for hard. Yeah, that's exactly what they're going to do. Soft to hard, because that's so quick. No, of course not. They're going on to the mediums. Basically the old strategy. In the old games, this strategy basically always worked in the 50% races, but now that's a bit different, luckily. We've got 2 stop strategies now too. And Iker gets a 30-second time penalty. But so far he's leading the race for some laps, of course. Just as long as they take to get into the pits, and that is probably now. Exactly, there they go. Everyone's going now. All 5 people who are still on the softs going for the pit stop. Now let's take a look at Jari. Where does he come out? He was one of the guys who he was the net leader before the pit stops. How is it gonna play out? And he comes out way ahead of Iker. I mean, with way ahead, I mean way ahead, because he's like over a second away. He's broken DRS now, and he's got a comfortable lead to build an even bigger gap, and they've basically got the same tyres on. So a good decision from Jari there to stop a bit earlier. Leonard's strategy didn't play out that well, I think. Wasn't really gaining him some places, but maybe got him closer to Joshua, because Joshua is now really close. I mean, Jari's in the net race lead, Iker in second, Zvetkov in third, and well, Chris was in fourth. He's now way back in 14th. So Leonard gained a few places. Not sure what happened to Chris now. To say he's even behind his teammate. but he probably has the better tyres. And there goes Strackles past Connor onto the main straight. We've got a battle also from Joshua Kozany onto Dylan Ferrari, and down the inside he goes past. There we go, beautiful overtake. And that's it for those two. I mean, I think Dylan has to be careful with Leonard, of course, because Leonard's on the better tyres. There he goes, past down the inside of the next turn with the medium tyres, way better tyres, beautiful overtake. Nothing that Dylan really could do against that. Just needs to stick around with them for a bit to gain a bit of time still on those hard tyres. And you know, we're basically waiting another 12 laps for the medium runners to come in. And after that we'll see which strategy played out better. And I mean, we've got Jari now pretty close to everyone else at the front, just 2.5 seconds away. Leonard and Connor going for it. Leonard is already past now. That was a quick overtake. That unnecessary bug there, but nothing to worry too much about. Connor's pretty close to Dylan's very close to Connor. Even Connor is on, oh well, Connor's in theory on the better tyres, but probably the mediums are starting to fall away. That's why Dylan can pretty good stay directly behind him. And if he gets a good run, maybe he can even make an overtake past him. Chris now goes past his teammate Sergi Quesada, probably with way more caution than before, because we've seen what can happen. And Flash and the Slaxig are going for it again at the front, of course. Pretty close, those guys still. Going onto the second DRS straight, maybe a switchback possible for Flash onto the second straight here. But no, doesn't really look like it. Into fourth, round turn number 6 we go. No overtake there, but an overtake from Dylan. Oh no, from Crucix onto Dylan. That way around, exactly. And still Dylan Nicholas here going for it into the quick S's. Of course, Dylan can't really do a thing against those medium runners. Chris there running wide, and Nicholas going for it on Crucix, and Crucix pretty close to Connor. Let's see who can take the 9th place out of those 3 cars. I mean, Crucix got himself lined up pretty good for the overtake. Down the inside he goes, past Connor, and Nicholas tried it as well, going alongside, but it doesn't really work out in the end. Sergi Quesada also retires in the pits. Still got the battle ongoing with Nicholas and Connor. Nicholas now side by side and going past. No, not going past. Is he? Yes, there we go. Into turn number 6. Now with that overtake down, you can focus on going a bit further ahead, catching up to Crucix again, because that's the man he wants to battle for positions with. Leonard has a bit more laps on his tyres, but he is still fighting for positions, and he is still on the same strategy as the other 2 are. There we go, Joshua and Black Panther. Joshua makes his way past. That's how it's supposed to be. On a way better tyre, that shouldn't be a big problem. Jari now slowly closing in. Iker close in the gap to Jari to about half a second now. Didn't seem like a big problem for him to close in the gap that far, but well, he managed it, and we'll see how that works out for him in the end. Svekov pretty close to Black Panther there, and we're going for the next overtake. onto the start and finish straight. I mean, he's also into the fresher medium tyres on a different strategy. Black Panther still has to pit onto the softs. There goes Svetkov down the inside and past Black Panther there. Nothing Black Panther really could do. It's just now about sticking to Svetkov for a bit to get some DRS off of him and to gain at least a bit of time, but he isn't going to be able to really follow him. Now you can see now Jari chasing down the current two leaders, while him being the net race leader. But if he isn't going to make a big mistake, he kind of has this win. But of course he has to be careful with Ica in the back. That's still a danger to him. He still could make the overtake and gain the race lead. But now we go onto the start and finish straight. For now, Jari of course with DRS, better tyres, and past he goes alongside with Flash and through. Now next one up is Dyslexic. Icarus a bit of a problem there, squeezing past because of course wants to stick with Jari, but it's not always that easy. Jari already really close to Dyslexic into turn 4, and now there we go onto the DRS straight, probably going side by side exactly and doing the overtake into turn number 4. Ica can't stick with him this time and needs to go around Dyslexic himself. Can't just use again up the Jari open, but that won't be a big of a problem for him probably. I mean, Jari himself is just leading by a few tenths. Of course he has retaken the on-track race lead now. Well, we enter lap 33. So we are over half of the race now. And there they go 3 wide. Dyslexic, Jari and Icarabina, but Jari can make it out on top. Icar nearly managed to pull an overtake there onto Jari, even with all car 3 wide. Jari still has to defend massively there because he wants, of course, to stay in the lead. They got about the same ERS levels. Not really much to fight for. I mean, Dyslexic got now Flash in the back. Of course, Joshua Kozany is knocking on the door saying, "Hello guys, I'm on a different strategy. Please let me pass." There he goes, without DRS even, into turn 9. The last 2 turns. He tries it together around with Flash and of course gets DRS there. No, I don't think so. But the 2 medium runners are already now into the pits for the soft tires, and leaving the guys with a different strategy up front there a bit alone. And I mean, yeah, it was a bit earlier than I expected them to go. But of course, if you can start on the tires and then go for 32 laps, you can also go for that one for 24 laps because, well, you've used those tires already in qualifying, so they go a bit less than the usual distance, and now with completely fresh set of tires, you're able to go a few laps more before they are completely done. But yeah, so far we still need to look out for the gap up front. Ica and Jari still not settled to who is going to take the top spot for this race. I mean, talking about the championship, Nicholas is in 8th place currently, not really making much points. He needs to get past Chris for that. But Jari now put an immense gap onto Iker. Nearly half a second again. Well, I think Iker gets then close on the start and finish straight again with a bit of saved up ERS. And And as we go for some more racing, well, good thing is we've got only probably one pit stop coming up from Dave, because I don't think he will be able to finish on those soft tires. They're 10 laps old, and just to compare, the other guys just stopped onto the soft tires, and we have still 23 laps to go even. Close again. Chris and Krusix going for it. Chris coming out on top, of course. Nicholas sits in the back, who, well, he wants to gain some more championship points, of course, to fight up there. But at the moment, there's no real opportunity. Of course, with those two battling, he probably gets a gap sometimes. But for now, it seems like Chris is really going way quicker than Crew 6, and therefore pulling away, not really opening the chance for a gap for Nicholas while those two are battling. So Nicholas is probably going to save it up himself, save the US, get the DRS and stuff, and manage it in the end himself. He's got no quite close again. Of course, that's the slow part of the circuit, so there is not going to be much going on. But there we go. Flash is going down the inside of dyslexic again, showing us a great battle today, those two. And yeah, once again, Flash is going into the lead, but we can see a median switchback onto the second DRS straight. I think dyslexic just got a not as good exit as Flash, and therefore won't be able to make it past. And as they go around the fast bends, up front we still see Jari, Joshua and Iker still separated by 3 to 4 tenths. Pretty close racing up there, but they're not really getting past each other. It's not really like there's going to happen an overtake every few laps like it is, for example, with those two guys, who are really overtaking each other every lap basically. Dyslexic now going past Flash again into the first turn, kind of giving each other a bit of a tow, of course, by just letting past. Dave Gaming and Black Panther now going for it. Dave slotting in front there to 11th position, but still would need to make another 6 seconds to get into the points. But the problem still is he is on 13 lap old softs. Those softs won't be really good much longer. They will be worn off in just about 7 to 10 laps, and then he has to pit for another set of tires, because in the end his tire will probably explode if you won't pit again. I don't think you can drive those softs for like 33 laps or something, or even more. Yeah, even more probably. No, wait, well, we've got 20 laps to go, so it's pretty much 33 laps that he has to go now on those tires all. And yeah, we've seen Connor and Dave giving it a go. Dave slotting back again. Alright, Black Panther's now past 2, and Connor's now past 2. Dave is now in 13. Maybe you should already go onto another set of soft tires, because tires can just get a bit fresh. There's no real danger of having worse tires, except if he has to go onto the mediums, of course. Then he has to carry on, or he should carry on the softs, but I don't know, I'm not sure which tires he still has. So, but he probably had a spin or something, because he's now 5 seconds behind. He was fighting with those guys before. as they are right now. Again, Connor, Black Panther. Connor switching to the inside line just before the corner, making it really interesting there, but trying the overtake and not really making it through. And let's see if we can do it around the turn 4, but I think he's got the Wars exit, so not really going to be his time this time round. Up front we see, of course, those three really close together, not giving each other an inch of space. Wait, is it going to happen? No, it isn't. Or is it? No, it isn't. Iker just can't decide whether to dive down the inside and get past there, but of course you have always the probability of ruining your own and somebody else's race if you dive into turn 1. And yeah, that's going to be a big thing. And still the problem for Iker is he has a 3-second penalty and Jari has not. So Jari has the advantage, he will win as long as he keeps within 3 seconds, even though Iker will overtake him. And Joshua will probably also slot into second place. Iker there trying to break, trying to break the dirty air from Jari. Not really trying to use the slipstream there. And also not using DRS. What was he doing? Why isn't he overtaking, or why doesn't he want to overtake? Because obviously he clearly could. There goes DRS on, because probably he fell back a bit. And of course now Josh is pretty close. But they're both saving up DRS as it looks. As we can see, they're on 60% run. Lap 41, you're not usually on 60%, except if you've been saving for a battle, which is probably about to come up between those top guys. And yeah, Luca, I have to agree with you. I wanted in safety car too to mix up it a bit, but it's not happened. I mean, for a crash, we could have caused a safety car, or at least a pit lane closed. But no, you didn't. Iker still go in saving mode, still not giving out that much energy, as well as Joshua, who's now up to 70%. So if he wants, he can really do the overtake on his own. To both, because well, Iker has less, 10%, and Jari as well. Jari is way less than all three of them. All two of them. But Joshua isn't. I think he's really sure about whether he should already overtake, whether he should wait for a bit more onto his teammate, and Iker then the McLaren sandwich. Well, basically those two guys can really talk with each other, Josh and Jari. Oh wait, is the overtake coming? The overtake is coming. There goes Iker down the inside, trying it now for the lead of the race, but getting pushed a bit through turn number 2. Not making it yet, and has to slot behind again. It was his first try, and there he goes again, alongside Jari into turn number 6. He goes, tries it round the inside, and it seemed to be working. He has passed and in the current lead, and Jari now catch the 3-second time penalty, and that's crucial. That is crucial for the race victory, because now basically Joshua is in the lead of the race with penalties already applied. But now we see some beautiful racing from those 3 guys up front there, and Jari is getting close again. Of course he wants to retake that position. He's now right at the back of Iker, but Iker has just so much ERS saved up to defend, and then on Crew 6 they're giving it a go. But I mean, Jari still wants to get that place back. Jari wants to get the place back. Joshua is just keeping behind, knowing that he'll probably win as long as he can keep up with the guys. And I think that's basically his strat. He got 90% ES saved up for emergencies, kind of. And, well, I think he would even be able to go past both of them if he really wanted to. But yeah, he doesn't yet. He just used a bit of DRS to, I think, not go over the maximum. Chris going past Svetkov onto the main straight to put himself back into 4th where he was before the pit stops. And well, Josh is still keeping behind Joshua. Not really trying to pull an overtake. Probably because he doesn't have to. Let's see, this is going to be an interesting battle until the end of the race, I think. And I mean, those guys are giving us a great show. Jari and Iker still not really haven't made their mind ups yet. Who's going to take which place? Well, Iker are down to 90%. He drained all of his ERS defending to Jari. I think Jari will soon be able to get past just because of his ERS advantage. He got 20%. Iker just got 13 now. So Jari is, as Iker was, able to save some ERS now. I mean, if we take a look at Joshua, well, he's a solid 100%. He has not used his DRS basically at all. An overtake from Dyslexic and Flash again. Those two really like each other today for some overtakes. And yeah, here at the top we still continue a nice battle. Maybe we're going to switch to somebody else for a few seconds. Not seconds, for a bit of time. Going to watch some other battles as well. Currently watching Nicholas getting close with his teammate Leonard in the Alfa Romeos. Probably pushing for the overtake now. No, he's got no ERS basically, but maybe he got enough slipstream to get past. Let's have a look. Dylan retired. We've got yellow in sector 2. Is that going to be a safety car? Yes, it is. There we go. The safety car gods are with us. So we're getting the whole field bunched up. One safety car is all we need for some more action. And I think we've just seen they've been letting each other by, and that's basically something that Dave needs, because he has to go into the pits again, and he won't lose that much time. That's really good for Dave. He can catch up to the safety car queue, and yeah, as they come in, he can basically just go for some solid laps onto the soft tires and close into the top 10 maybe even. So yeah, going to be an interesting strategy from the last 4 people. Oh, and the top stops are pitting as well. Joshua didn't pit. Chris as well didn't pit. Everyone else at the top spot is now, as I went for a pit stop. And of course, they're basically instantly behind the guys. And that is basically now how Iker won the race. Joshua didn't decide to pit, even though I'm not sure why he didn't, because if the others went, why did he decide not to go? Or does he not have another soft compound set of tires? Because he was in 3rd position, he saw the others went into the pits, so he just could go as well, but he didn't. And he's on very old mediums. Like Chris and Iker and Jari will just be bombing past them. because they've so much more grip. And what is this? Oh, and Reese is just going past the safety car and getting disqualified. Nice. I think he wanted to unlap himself, but he didn't really know that F1 isn't supporting stuff like that. Pretty unfortunate for him, but I'm putting him into 20th position, of course, because disqualifications are always worse than retirements. But now, after bunching up the whole field, back again. The safety car's probably coming in soon. And that benefits all of the drivers who were further back. We've still got 5 cars kind of lost on track. I'm still not sure when the safety car restart is about to come. Either it's now, that could be possible. If the lights go off now, let's see. Do they? Doesn't look like it. Maybe we've got a late call. Still possible? No, the safety car's going for another lap. And therefore everyone can close the gap to the queue. And even Dave can close up to Black Panther at the back of the grid there. And well, with everyone on soft tires, the strategy isn't really good for anyone else anymore. Because everyone is on soft tires, it's just a matter of time basically, where Joshua and Chris will come out, because those two are on the mediums and they're going to suffer through very much faster cars. Even though DRS will not get enabled for the first 2 laps after the safety car, the guys are still way faster on the soft tires than those two on the mediums, on 25 lap old mediums especially. And you just can see this by looking at the tires. The softs are basically still shiny. There goes the safety car in. Called Joshua leading at the weight. And if we take a look at those mediums, you can already see they're pretty worn out. They're not really blistering already, but it's going to happen soon. If you take a look at the softs, they're basically brand new, basically still shiny. But go back to the front, take a look at that, take a look what kind of start Joshua can make out of the safety car restart. Here we go. Joshua is giving it a go onto the straight. Had quite a good start. Chris also pretty good. And Jari's already chasing down Iker, and there at the back we see battling between Alfa Romeo or Nicholas and Flash, and we see somebody taking... Ooh! That was Jari, I think. That was Jari who caught a lot of chicane, a lot of first turn, but a 10-second time penalty for that, and that is kind of deserved. I mean, he missed his braking spot, yes, but he also went way wider than he should there. And there goes Jari now down the inside onto Chris, even though it's probably not of much use for him. And there we go. Dyslexic and Leonard giving it a go through. Ooh! What was that? What was that? That's very hard. What was that actually? It was drift together round turn 7. And I don't know how they managed to stick onto the track there. I don't know how they managed to race that. Here we go, still fighting with Dyslexic and Dave. Dave gained 2 places again, probably from that little incident now. Go back up, and Dyslexic there trying to really, basically try to drive there where Dave was, but Dave couldn't give him any more room. They're still fighting there up front. Iker goes now past Chris there. And, oh well, but Joshua got loads of ERS saved up. But well, after the safety car, you can't just basically copy that. We see Leonard still going with Dyslexic here. Well, we've seen a lot of excitement in the chat. Yeah, this little thing at the I think we have to rewatch that sometimes. This little thing at the safety car restart. There goes Leonard again. Jari going now into the lead of the race for now. I mean, I'm not sure it could be possible what was in the chat. And I mean, we've seen basically Jari cutting the whole chicane. I'm not actually sure if really I could really fully turn into him. That's of course not what we want to see, and probably Jari will go to the administration there to get this penalty removed if he can't really account for that. But Jari leading the way with Iker behind and Nicholas in third. That was a really good safety car for Nicholas too. He got up from 8th position to 3rd. He is now closing into Jan, as I said at the beginning, and there goes Iker past Jari for the lead of the race. And with just a few more laps to go, I mean, Jari has 10-second time penalty, so he is for now not going to be winning the race if this penalty won't get removed. But of course he has to also get past Iker for actually winning there. Well, maybe also just Iker gets a penalty later on. But we'll see that the administration will take care of that, take care of what kind of incident that was. And we'll just take a look at the end of the race for now, because we're heading into like 55, 3 laps to go for the drivers. Jari now gaining a lot of speed and going past around the outside into turn number 1. At the back we see Nicholas and Krusix giving it a go, but no one really making a place. And yeah, for now it stays as it was. Jari in front, Iker in second, Nicholas and Krusix also not really agreed on a position. Of course Krusix wants to get that 3rd place, that podium spot. But wait, the other interesting thing is Nicholas will actually win on penalties because he's 7/10 behind Jari. And if he can keep that, he'll... Oh my god, that's going to be a really good race for Nicholas. That's going to be an extremely good race. Iker and Jari switching once again. Probably another time, but the next time it'll be really interesting, because it's then going to be about who is going to take the on-track win. And well, that's not decided yet, and therefore we're going to just wait and see what happens in the end of the race. And a lot of guys at the back who were just comfortable, who are just waiting for their chances. For example, Dave, it really worked out for them. He's up into 9th position. That makes 2 points for AlphaTauri, and together with Krusix at the top there, that's a really good finish for AlphaTauri. There goes Jari another time past Iker Bena, and if he can hold on to that, he will be winning the race. But the problem, of course, will be he needs to stick to that for at least until after this lap. He needs to stick to that over the start and finish line. I mean, and that's not coming too early onto the straight, so on Black Panther, and Flash going forward there for position number 7. But now the interesting thing will be up front here together with Jari and Iker. Chris and Joshua now coming out in 5th and 6th onto those mediums still. Flash and Black Panther still pretty close. Well, what can Iker do now into the last lap? Can he close into Jari that much that he can give us a photo finish? No, he can't. We've seen Nicholas and Crucix into what is going on. Jari landed in 11th position by his penalties. In 11th position. I'm not sure. We can watch the replay, I think, but I'm not sure whether or whose really fault it was at the safety car restart. Just can replay it a bit. For now, we've got Jari in 11th place. I'll take a look at the replay, maybe, and let's see if I can really see something. But for now, we've got Nicholas at the top spot, Crucix in 2nd, and Iker in 3rd. That's what the penalties given by the game result in. A very weird switching up everything, kind of. But here we go. And yeah, in the final standings, that will look like the following. Nicholas, Crucix, Iker, of course. Then we've got Joshua in the McLaren in 4th, Flash in the Renault in 5th, Dyslexic in 6th, Chris in 7th, Black Panther in 8th. Now we've got Dave, Leonard in 10th, Jari in 11th, Connor in 12th, and Svetkov in 13th, but he didn't finish, and the rest of the grid basically also didn't finish. So let me take a look of the restart of the safety car, and let me see whether I can see. Oh yeah, that's going to probably be the evidence for that, because that was a very nasty move from Iker, but probably also just to be careful to not hit anybody else. Well, that's going to be interesting. That's up to the league admins which decision will be made, or if the penalties will be left as they are. But for now, we're of course switching over, and we'll see if we get some people for interviews in. I mean, for example, Nicholas would be nice to see. I think he will win the race either way, because there's a 3-second penalty for Jari, and even though he gets the 10-second penalty removed, he will still slot behind Nicholas. So I think we can say pretty sure Nicholas won this race. And oh, we've got a lot of chat going on into the F1B splits, and I'm going to ask some of the guys quickly for interviews. And we've got Nicholas, we've got Crucix, and Iker, right? I think, I'm not sure if Iker got... And let's see whether somebody wants to join me. They're beautiful. But yeah, after the safety cars, the guys say everyone kind of could have won. But I'm just awaiting some answers, and in the meantime, I'm just going to send you a bit of a ad. Right. See you back. Hopefully we've got some drivers in there later on, and yeah. So now we are back here, but we are actually not having somebody to join us for interviews so far. Because also I think those guys are still discussing whether and how and who and what caused collisions and whatsoever. So I don't think we've got a lot of. I don't think there is going to be people who we can really interview later on because well, all of the guys are pretty heated up, and yeah, I don't want to promise you uh, anything, but I'll probably give you an update if I get one onto the next race. And well, yeah, we'll see us again. By the way, next race, what are we going to be at? We're Bahrain, we're at Brazil last time, we're at China. We are going to go to Belgium. It's a very nice track, a very interesting ground, and even more slipstream battles than they were now. Um, but yeah, so far, I don't think there's going to be much people to talk with, if there's anyone new. I don't think so. So yeah, that's going to be it for this night for round number 7. We're going to see us again in Belgium next week. And yeah, check out the other videos. Check out the F1 of course. Take a look at Twitter and subscribe there if you don't want to miss the news from our side. And we'll see us next week. If you're not, ladies and gentlemen.